statute has been changed, the obstruction statute, for specific intent now. So you have to have a specific intent to actually commit the crime, and they've gutted it, at least they tried to. No longer do you need a due notice, which is one of the first parts of it. And it's supposed to prohibit physical conduct and fighting words. And those are pretty self-explanatory. But like I said in that other video that went on pretty long, it goes more than that, because the appellate court has said, we don't really have any legislative history on this to know what happened in 1911 to even warrant passing it. And there's really no case law on it. So this is almost a case of first impression. And in doing this, they're saying that even delaying tactics could fall under physical conduct. So in other words, if you're passive aggressive, if your intent is to delay, then yeah, you'll still get busted. He put all the body cams together, and let me see, there it is right there. And bravo to him.
You good?
Don't engage in my driver.
Why'd they say that you were pulled over? Oh, I see.
Okay, back up.
What a terrible.
Back up. Not involved.
Oh, I see. Oh, gotcha.
You can film me. You need to stay away from my driver. Back up. Back up, or I'm going to detain you.
You're going to detain me how? In which way?
Get away from my car.
Actually, I'm standing right here. I'm at least 10 feet away, officer. I got to tell you, I'm a constitutional law scholar. You can do whatever you want, but just understand something. Your name will go on the law, sir. Mind your own fucking business.
Not your business.
Mind your own business. I'm a member of the press. Go get in your car and do your job, little doggy.
Okay.
Go feed her.
You're being detained right now.
Okay, then detain me. Oh, she's free. You're going to detain a journalist? 2015, Rodriguez. Don't put your hands on me. Don't touch me. Don't put your fucking hands on me.
I am going to put my hands on you.
No, you're not.
I gotta
make sure you guys get my people on the phone. Oh, this is so you ended the stop, you dunce cap. Did you just end the stop? So that's
Yes.
a 2015
Come
case.
over here to my car.
No.
Come over here.
No.
I need a
Bring your supervisor, please. Bring your supervisor, please. Don't touch me. You don't get to put your hands on me. Don't grab me. Don't grab me. Listen, you're not. First get your supervisor out here. You're not just going to grab me and throw me on the ground. You've already released her. You've already released her. This is 2015, Rodriguez versus United States.
Come over to my car.
I'll walk right in front of your car. Let's go. Sure, come on. Come on.
You need to set the phone down on the hood.
No. I'm a constitutional law scholar. You can't take away my phone.
Set the phone down on the hood.
I'm now.
You're being detained. Now you're going to put hands on me.
No.
Come over here.
Why are you grabbing me?
Come over here.
Sure.
Come over here.
Let the phone roll.
All right, I stopped it here because I'm not getting into the resisting arrest charge. I think he's not getting away from that one. To me, the wobbler, the one that's been on the fence, has been the obstruction charge. Because first of all, the language is shitty. I mean, the resisting arrest charge is also a shitty statute, but that one had a Supreme Court decision that upheld it. So, I'm going to just focus on some things. I can't focus on everything. Not right now. Now let's go to this footage. What makes this?
What type of films do you make for your YouTube channel?
I only film police in their official capacity. I'm known across the country and across the world.
Approximately how many feet did you back up?
I backed up a foot or two. I was at least 10 feet away from that car.
Do you recall the officer telling you not to speak with the driver?
Yes.
And did you make any statements to the driver after that command was given?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that shows compliance.
Did the officer ever give you a specific distance to back up to?
No, he didn't.
If he did, would you have complied with that?
Sure.
Okay, that shows compliance for specific intent.
Did you believe you were complying with the officer's commands?
100%. I also informed him I'm a member of the press. I'm a constitutional law scholar, that this is what I do.
Since now we have to evaluate it by specific intent, for him to say, yeah, I definitely tried to comply. Okay, so that helps him a lot, because that gets him out of trouble. But when he says he's a constitutional law scholar, he's now putting himself in the class of lawyers. And lawyers are given an extra responsibility to know the law. He isn't a lawyer, and I think it's a dangerous title for him to swing around, especially while he's on the stand.
He decided to obtain me because he said I was obstructing, which, from my understanding, is a physical act where I would have to get in the way. He said that the driver deserved privacy.
Okay, so once again, no, obstructing. What he said is true, but it's not completely true. It's more than, and even the Willson decision says that sometimes just delaying tactics could be non-physical acts. So when we talk about physical acts and fighting words, the physical acts include non-physical acts.
Intentionally swat at any of the officers?
Absolutely not. He was giving me unlawful commands. I identified as a member of the press that the driver deserved privacy. I believe my First Amendment rights are not up for feelings. He said that, he told me to back up. I backed up a little bit. Then he said, she deserves privacy. And then I told him to go get in your car, little doggy, and write your ticket.
Minds could differ on that one because it could be just an insult. So I because of the high standard of proof here, I'm going to give him that one and not hold it against him.
Did you at any point attempt to hit any of the officers involved?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think that's his style. Even the cop admitted that. So
Did you intentionally swat at any of the officers?
Absolutely not. He was giving me unlawful commands.
that to me is the one that is going to be a very big problem for him. If the appellate court looks at it and says, constitutional law scholar deemed this to be an illegal command or an unlawful command, a legal decision. And that legal decision preempted, in his mind, the ability of the cop to have any command and control over the situation. So I'm always telling you, let your lawyers fight it out in the courtroom. You could make these arguments in the courtroom, but if you make them out on the street, the cop has the advantage. Unlawful commands could be one of the things that he says that gets him convicted.
I should not have been detained after I identified as a member of the press. If he
That's what I'm telling you. That sounds willful.
ever reached a hand out towards me, I wrestle and teach MMA, and I have for 30 years. So it's just a natural reaction as I'm retreating from somebody. If I may have put my hand up, as he said, as he testified himself, I certainly am a law-abiding citizen. I don't break the law.
Now, it's never a good idea to start bringing in your character when you are testifying because you start opening doors. I thought he knew that. You never say, the question wasn't how great of a citizen you were. The question wasn't about you having an inadvertent martial arts reflex. You know, you're adding too much filler. It would have been no. And we heard what the cop said. He said, I wasn't a threat. He said he wasn't afraid of me. And therefore the 21-foot rule makes no sense based on what he just said. Boom, headshot, you stop.
I would not have tried to assault an officer under any circumstances.
All right, I believe that.
Is it possible that during the interactions there was inadvertent contact between you and the officer?
Sure, he decided to go hands-on with me.
Okay, I've talked about this before. This question used inadvertent contact, which is great because that means not willful. And remember, we're talking about willfulness as well. Willful physical conduct. But I think this gets beyond the obstruction because if I remember correctly, by the time we got to the you didn't put hands on me, we were already past the detention, or we were already well into the detention phase for the obstruction. So I don't know, this to me might be for the resisting charge, but then you know what? These are shitty statutes, so never anything just fits into a neat bucket. But it looked to me like inadvertent was great. But then when Chille said he went hands-on with me, well, now it sounds like a willful, it sounds like a battle.
When he was giving me unlawful commands.
He repeats it again. It would show willfulness. If a constitutional law scholar thinks the cop doesn't have the right to do this, then what he's saying is I have the right to basically obstruct the cop. Think about how appellate courts will look at this. When you're in an appellate court, they are not here to decide who's telling the truth and who's lying unless it's absolutely conclusive. That's for the trier of fact. That's the judge's decision. But now, you can certainly you can surmise intent from comments.
And there was absolutely no reason for it. I was willing to comply with anything he asked within reason, because I don't want to have a fist.
Within reason, see, now that's someone making the decision for the cop, and that could be score 1 for obstruction, score 1 for resisting arrest.
fight with the-
It is Friday. It's getting later in the afternoon, so let's have some jokes. Why not a lawyer joke? We haven't told any of those in a while. So this hotshot lawyer is out in the countryside. He sees a duck flying by, grabs his shotgun, shoots the duck. Duck lands on the ground. The lawyer goes over to this farmer's land to claim the duck. And the farmer is a rather old gentleman, lived there a long time. And he says, no, that's my duck. It landed on my land. And the lawyer says, do you know who I am? I could litigate you into submission. I could take everything you own. You just better give me the duck. This is going to cost you a fortune to litigate against me. I'm a lawyer. And the farmer said, well, yeah, I don't want to get into a litigation battle with you. I don't want to hire a lawyer at all, but you don't understand. We have a very simple way of settling things here in the country. We don't need attorneys for this. The lawyer says, all right, well, how do we settle this? He goes, we have what we call the 3-kick rule. 3-kick rule. He goes, yeah. He goes, even though I'm in advanced years, I kick you 3 times, then you get to kick me back 3 times. And back and forth we go until somebody gives up, and that's the winner. Well, the lawyer was in good shape, and he saw that the farmer looked kind of frail, and he says, yeah, I'll take that bet. So the farmer says, I go first, and then it's your turn. Okay. Well, the farmer goes and comes back with some steel-toed boots. And it turned out that this farmer was quite strong because he's a farmer. The first kick he delivered nearly broke the lawyer's leg. The lawyer is howling in pain. The second kick was to the other leg and did massive damage. And the third kick was to the groin, which caused the lawyer to double over. He couldn't stand, he could barely walk, and he just was absolutely devastated. So after sitting on the ground for several minutes, he decided that he was recovered enough. And he says, okay, now it's my turn. And just when the lawyer was thinking about where he was going to kick this guy the hardest, the farmer says, you know what? I give up. You can have the duck. A man wants to get to the truth because he knows his son lies to him. So he buys a robot that slaps you when you tell a lie. He brings his kid in. He says, were you at school today? Kid says, yes. Robot smacks the kid across the face. He goes, were you at Ricky's house today? Yes. The robot doesn't hit him. Were you watching porn on the television? No. Robot hits him across the face. Now the father's mad. He goes, you know, when I was your age, I never did things like that. Now the robot hits the father across the face. And then the wife looks at both of them and goes, see, like father, like son. Then the robot slaps the mother across the face.